NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, calls artificial intelligence the beginning of a new industrial revolution. To discuss that and more, joining us now is Rahul Mewawalla, CEO of Mawson Infrastructure Group, ticker symbol MIGI, publicly traded on the NASDAQ. Rahul, it's great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, Corey. It's so good to see you.
You recently wrote an article in Fast Company about how to succeed in the AI value chain. Talk to us about how digital infrastructure companies such as Mawson can participate in the AI value chain.
Thank you for reading the article that I wrote in Fast Company. I think it's going to get any more interesting moving forward. You think about the AI value chain, you've got everything from the GPUs to the software layer on top of that. And there's an enormous amount of software that you've got to deploy on top of these GPUs that not only optimizes for the applications, but also optimizes the performance of these underlying GPUs. You've then got additional hardware components to build the entire cluster. And then what is really the bedrock behind all of this is providing the compute capacity to run these GPUs with the software to drive these AI applications. And, while I think there's been a lot of conversation around some of the more consumer-facing aspects of AI, I think there's now a renewed interest in understanding the foundational elements, such as digital infrastructure and compute capacity. And that's where companies like Mawson Infrastructure Group play. We essentially provide the compute capacity in the digital infrastructure where you can deploy these clusters and host these GPUs and these compute machines to power the next generation of AI applications. And, if you think about how the industry's evolved, if you look back even, I'd say 3 or 4 years, the real bottleneck then was GPUs. You had all of these technology companies that were trying to deploy clusters, there weren't enough GPUs. I think that's eased off now, where it's not so much about GPUs. I think now it's about things like power. Is there enough power capacity to power these clusters moving forward? And, setting up new sites takes time. You've got to go through, full process. So those companies that have sites today that meet the criteria that you're looking for, power abundance, robust power, fiber optic connectivity, your energy getting sourced from 100% carbon-free sources, including nuclear, for example, you're being close to, a tech hub. I think companies that have those sort of facilities like we do, for example, over 90% of our compute capacity is within 30 minutes of Pittsburgh International, which, as you know, Pittsburgh is a growing hub around AI. You've got Carnegie Mellon, which has been on the frontier of AI innovation from the beginning. Google and Microsoft have now deployed data centers and investments in the region. And so our sort of view is that this is going to be, will continue to be exciting moving forward. I think compute will be an incredibly valuable resource moving forward. And those that can provide it in a way that we do, I think will participate in the growth of the ecosystem moving forward.
Innovation in AI seems to be moving rapidly. Where do you think we are in its developmental stage?
I would say, this was a baseball game. We're in the first inning. And I say that because even though we've made tremendous progress really in the last 24 to 36 months, I talk to a number of my fellow CEOs in the industry and, we talk about what's in the pipeline. And I think, you look at the pace of change and pace of innovation and pace of acceleration that we're going to see moving forward, it's going to be tremendous. If you look at even how we have innovated over the last several years, GPUs, for example, just over the last 8 years have become 1,000 times more powerful, right? The software that we use to train LLMs has become, increasingly performance oriented. You're able to do now with the same amount of power, 10 to 20x more today than you were able to do even 18 months ago, right? Every successive large language model, even though it grows in size and grows in complexity, is able to be more power efficient. And so I think from our perspective, as a company that provides digital infrastructure, our role in this ecosystem is to provide the compute capacity that's needed to build the next generation of applications. And our view is that that will continue to be, a finite resource. Whether you think about power, you think about fiber optic connectivity, you think about, carbon zero energy, these are all finite resources. And so we're looking to aggregate these resources so that we can provide them to our other ecosystem players and our enterprise-grade customers to sort of continue to power the change of innovation moving forward. But, to your question, I think we're just at the beginning. I mean, right now, if you think about AI, you think of it as a prompt, right? Like when you open up your mobile, your desktop, and you're interacting with, whether it's Meta's AI or ChatGPT, it's a prompt. Moving forward, it's going to be really an AI agent that can take a task and do it end to end. You're going to have generic AI agents that all of us will use, but you'll also have a personal AI assistant. They'll know what Corey likes and what you don't like and will sort of reorient to your needs. When you have things like that, our usage of AI is just going to naturally increase because we'll see this immediate benefit in productivity, if you will. And the more we use AI, the more we'll end up having to need more computing resources, and therein lies really what I believe is sort of this era around building digital infrastructure moving forward. But Corey, it's just a start. And, I'm really excited about what the next several years will hold. And I'm sure when, you and I talk again, we'll be talking about a time and a place where today it may seem enormously complex, but I wouldn't be surprised if in 12 or 18 months we meet some of those milestones already.
Well, it was a pleasure, Rahul.
Great seeing you, Corey. Thanks so much.